Hi, Lisa Haverly here, Nature Superhero Network, and I am so humbled and so excited to introduce you today, Kaya Lyons, coming in all the way from Sydney, Australia. And many of you probably already know her, but this is the first time that I have had the pleasure of speaking to her in person via Zoom. And then just picked up this new book where she has a chapter in there about nature-based occupational therapy and sensory integration with a kind of a trauma-informed lens. And so if you haven't seen that book, please pick it up. It's awesome, and a good shout out to our profession as occupational therapists. So Kaya and I have been talking a little bit here before I turned on the record button. But my question for you, Kaya, is, and you can give a little bit of an intro, kind of how you came to nature-based therapy, but also, why do you see nature as a supportive context for building neurologic kind of connection of safety and security? Because I know that you are passionate about supporting children who have experienced some adversity or developmental trauma. And so why nature, though? Why that context? And thank you for being here.
No, I thank you for inviting me. I think that the more conversations that we have, the deeper our wisdom grows. So, yeah, I think that a little bit of context would probably be that I was very fortunate to be born at home, so not in a hospital. I was born on country, and my parents took me around Australia for an entire year where I spent camping and connecting as a family and around an extremely beautiful country that is full of lots of different nature aspects. And I think that it wasn't until later on in my OT career that I realized how much that experience had really shaped what I now do now as a profession. But I think that when I'm looking at all of the different aspects of sensory integration, and we had these, things that are suspended from our ceilings and that swing and that create elements of risk and that provide us with rhythms and provide us with deep pressure. I felt like all of these sensory aspects were provided in nature. And I think that, when we were speaking, Issa, it was we were talking about all of the different aspects of sensory integration and how we can sort of get all of this and how the profession has changed. And I think that when we've pulled apart the body and the mind, but we've also pulled apart humans and nature. And I think that it's important to point out that we are nature. So the more that we pull these things apart as though, why is nature important in these aspects? Well, because it's a part of us. That would be my short answer. We are nature. And so when we are with nature as one, whether we have earth in our hands or whether we are underneath the water where the water holds us, if you look at the context of all of the experiences that you can have as part of nature, it is the safety, because you are a part of it. And when you ground in the earth, you ground in your body. And when you float in the ocean and you feel the rhythm of the tides, your water within your body feels that rhythm as well. So I think it's coming home.
Yeah, it is. The womb space with the water, I feel like kind of that movement, that rhythmical movement. That's beautiful. So tell me what you do on the daily. What is your day-to-day like? Obviously outdoors a fair amount, and it's summer there, right?
It is summer. Look, I try as much as I can to be outdoors and without tools in my hands as much as I possibly can. I try not to wear shoes, so as much as I can in a city. But yeah, look, my role has changed a little bit in terms of I now support a team of therapists at Active OT. So for me, a lot of it is trying to get what's in here out and help individuals to connect to their own experiences. Because I think that for me anyway, there's a big calling to, you know, we can have conversations and feel inspired by aspects, but you've got to feel it. And so I spend a lot of my time trying to help whether it's clients or therapists to really feel it within your body, because otherwise the head gets too busy and it doesn't quite make sense. So that's a lot of my time. And I also run surf therapy, and this year was our first year where we actually linked in a group of individuals that were having difficulty with emotional regulation. To me, it is more coming to peace that all emotions are valuable, and what do emotions mean to us. So yeah, we combined that with surfing and the aspects of the tide and the moon and the waves and the sets. So it was an incredible experience. And then, yeah, 4 times a year we jump to different areas and run Camp Reset, where we take children off grid and connect in nature, and as part of a little tribe where we get to know each other. And I also take parents on one as well. So yeah,
awesome.
That's what it looks like. And then I've got 3 beautiful daughters who I love to try and get out with as much as I can, and experience nature with them.
That's amazing. So I hope to bring you back, because I would love to talk in more detail about those specific components that you are contributing to. But you know, I think a part of my framework is talking about the mind, body, and spirit. And I know that resonates with you as well, this spiritual component that has, in my opinion, kind of gotten lost, or therapists aren't quite sure what to do with that. And I think nature is the perfect space to kind of bring that back in, and as a part of the integrated whole of a person. So if you could speak to what spirituality means to you, that would be awesome within this beautiful space of nature. And how it's relevant to us as OTs and makes sense to bring that forth within the nature context.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a difficult conversation in the sense of when we talk about spirit, sometimes we've had experiences where it triggers and creates sort of disharmony in conversations. And I also think from a science world that, we can't speak about that because that might not be measurable and things. So something that helped me overcome those aspects was the understanding from a trauma lens that if we are looking to support individuals to heal, that an individual to be able to feel powerful, and then to be able to see and appreciate and accept that somebody is sharing power with you, to feel wise and be able to accept the wisdom of others. So it's this back and forward, to nurture and to be able to feel nurtured by somebody else. And they speak of the higher power, to feel a part of something, and to appreciate that there is more than individual self, that there is a wider, bigger thing, and that hopefulness is something that helps individuals to feel like they're not alone. And to me, that is the element of spirit, and how important it is to have individuals connect into that. I think we would be doing half our role if we didn't bring that in. Where does that come in nature? Well, when you look at the different settings, the huge ocean, and how the days vary, it can be still and calm to this raging surf where you realize the power and who has the power in that transaction, and where you stand on a mountain at the base or whether you're up at the top. And I think that when you're a part of nature and you're exploring all of these different aspects, and you see the intricacies of how everything works together, that is spirit. The different animals, the different landscapes, how different trees lean in to one another to help each other out, this community and connection, that every aspect belongs. I think that it is a wonderful platform to be able to share with individuals these different aspects, that sometimes is less confronting for the individuals. They've had experiences potentially with relationships with humans that have led to a lack of trust. So I think turning to those connections in nature can be a beautiful bridge to understanding that there are possibilities, and that there is hope, and that they're not alone.
Yeah, I totally resonate with looking to nature to give us hope, right? And that can be a part of that healing is bringing nature in or going out in nature, but asking the question, what brings you hope too? What brings you hope? And it just seems like somebody might say a sunset, right? Or the sunrise, and reconnecting with those on a real intentional way. Right. So, yeah.
And I think that's a big part, isn't it? It's just like when and it's wonderful that more and more people are feeling called to go out or to bring in.
Yeah.
But doing it intentionally is that key, right? Is that you can go to nature, you can travel and camp, but if you're bringing everything from the inside out, or when you're bringing the outside in, you're bringing it and using it and not actually being with intentionally, it shifts things. So when we're doing therapy, it's less about what we're doing and more about how we're intentionally showing up as ourselves, how we're intentionally being.
Right. And experiencing through the sensory systems, all that.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know time is of the essence, but I do want to give you the opportunity to share with us, what else you are doing. I know because you're supporting professionals in understanding trauma. So you were just here in the US. When was that? This last fall, or was it further back?
No, it was pre the COVID aspects.
Got it. Okay, pre-COVID. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And so tell us what that was about and what might be on the horizon for you. And where else can we find what you do?
Yeah. Look, you'll find me where passion is.
Yeah.
So
I believe that
is my biggest driver. I came and shared about camp, but
okay.
That was the biggest aspect for me, and just really supporting individuals and support, my own experiences and my own journey, because I think that it is a shared journey. I don't have all of the answers and knowledge. It's sharing. And I love I love as occupational therapists that we do consider body, mind, and spirit. And I think that it is really valuable to have all of those aspects. So I am looking at running a tour with Lee Mates here in Australia about body, mind, and spirit, and having the experiences. Because, you know, like we just spoke about, I think that there is a need to feel it and to be. So my calling at the moment is, rather than doing lectures talking about nature, is to actually go in and have experiences. I was so fortunate. I went to Norway last year and presented at the International Adventure Therapy Conference, and I presented on a lake, and it was so incredible that through the workshop we submerged ourselves in water and we crept over rocks and went through all of the early stages of development with nature. And I think that's what I want to be providing. I want to be providing experiences for individuals to understand it through lived experience, that you can feel in your body.
Through the mind and through the spirit. Yeah. That should almost be a prerequisite to even being a nature-based therapist.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
You need to bring that closer to me. Except I'm not doing any polar plunges or anything like that. But I do have a lake that's not too far away. That's quite lovely. So, yeah. So someday. Yeah. All right,
yeah,
Kyle.
Well,
thank you so very much. I appreciate your time. And I do hope that we can continue to connect and that you'll come back and share more about all that you have done, because I know it's hard to capture it in a small interview.
Yeah.
But from the heart. So thank you for living your passionate life and really bringing back the importance of integration from a mind, body, and spirit perspective.
Look, thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate all that you're doing for our community as OTs and sharing, you know, a range of different aspects of the value of that body, mind, spirit. It's inspiration that you're standing up and being vocal. So thanks for inviting me.
Yep, thank you.